ask yourself this question. What would you do if your best were better? My next guest, Jason Womack, owner and CEO, Jason Womack Company, just wrote an article that's titled Rescuing Productivity. Jason, welcome to the show.
Delighted to be here, and thank you, everybody. You know, here's the deal. Let's drop a couple of ideas that people can take right away to improve their productivity, but I really like your intro. Let's make our best better.
Most of our listeners are home-based business owners. They've got kids. They've got families. Some of them even have full-time jobs out on the side. What do you mean when you are telling a home-based business owner how to rescue productivity?
You know, I know the difference between running my business and running my busyness, and busy is sexy. Let's just be transparent. You know, at the end of the day, looking back on my day and remembering how many emails I replied to and how many phone calls I answered with people asking questions and how many times I reshuffled the stacks of paper on my desk. You know, I was busy today, B-U-S-Y. But look at, you know, organizing my email inbox doesn't make me money. A small business or a home-based business owner, our job is really twofold. Number one, to find a market for our product, and number two, to fulfill their need with what it is that we have. So when I say rescue productivity, I'm not trying to get people to be more productive. I'm not trying to get you to move faster through your day. What I'm attempting to do is to say, hey, look, over the past 72 hours, bring to mind a win. Bring to mind a success. Did you have a customer call with a big smile on her face because she got your package in the mail and she's using what you sell? Or maybe you got a call from a radio or a TV or maybe something like this. I mean, you read my article and reached out. It's like, oh, my gosh, I'm getting to talk about something that I live. You see, what I'll do based on this conversation, there's like 72 to 96 hours of juice I'm going to get from this. This is going to help me build momentum. And I'm going to ask myself over the next 2 to 3 to 4 days, what can I do that would increase the likelihood of connecting with someone like I did, that last conversation that we had. So when I say rescuing productivity, what I'm looking for is what is in your mind, home business owner, what is a win, and how do you set yourself up to experience that more?
I noticed the first thing you mentioned was answering emails, organizing email boxes. I got to admit, I was one of the main culprits of doing that up until really about 2013. Why do you think home-based business owners, or even business owners in general, don't get the fact that busy work is not productive work?
Well, there's been deep psychological work that's been done on email itself. And in fact, some of the best studies, if you have an extra 15 minutes and can't sleep one night, this will put you to bed. But if you go look at, there's a connection between the gambler's mind and what happens to our minds when we're processing email. You see, what winds up happening, if you've been in email long enough, meaning like a day, you will find an email that does spark you. That is an opportunity. That does build your business. Now, there might be 1% or 0.5% of emails in your inbox like that, but you know what? Because it happened once, there's a part of your mind that's looking for it to happen again. Now, a couple of things, let me get out of the way what I don't believe in, and I'll go on the record. Number one, I don't believe in only checking my email 2 or 3 times a day at specific times. I also don't believe in a zero-base in-basket. Can I tell you what I do believe in?
What's that?
I do believe in looking at email as the tool that it is. It is a transaction organizing tool. See, there's 3 kinds of conversations. For those of you who have a piece of paper and a pen, this will probably be the gold of this one conversation that you and I have. There are 3 kinds of conversations we have in a 24-hour cycle. I have these conversations via voicemail, email, text messaging, and face-to-face. One kind of conversation is the transaction. Hey, look, before I got married, I did research on marriage. Okay, this is how much I study life. I did research on marriage, and I found that statistically up to 70% of the conversations we have with our spouses transactional in nature. Did you? Why didn't you? When are you going to? You said you would. How about when are you going? See, all of that can be handled via email, text messaging, or phone calls. So that leaves the other 2/3, and maybe even more, because the other 2 kinds of conversations The first one, transactions. Number 2, relationship building. In my personal life, a relationship building conversation starts with, hey, how are you? Hey, what are you working on that's big these days? Hey, what's inspiring to you this week? Hey, what conference are you signed up for that, I could be supporting you as you're building up to attending that conference? Those are relationship building conversations. Now, let me give you the third kind of conversation, and this is probably the one that home-based business owners need to spend more of our time. I'm speaking for myself, if anybody else wants to fall in line. The third kind of conversation is opportunity development. Now, you ready for this? The more I handle the transactional conversations, look, if I say that I'll do something for you and I do it, our trust meter just went up. If we have a high trust meter, we have a deeper relationship built, meaning you're going to be okay reaching out to me. You're going to be okay asking me for things. You're going to be okay inviting me out for a conversation over a cup of coffee or over a lunch or over a dinner. By the way, those kinds of conversations just get more expensive through the day, coffee, lunch, dinner. Now, the deeper relationship we have with one another is going to lead us to new opportunities, right? Based on this conversation, if I say something or if you say something, 2 weeks from now, I might have a thought, oh, man, we talked about that in that discussion. I wish I would have told him this, or let me introduce him to this person, or let me tell him about this book that I'm reading right now. By the way, you want to ruin your business? Blow the first kinds of communication. Don't handle your transactions well. That's the number one way that I see home business owners, small business owners, Fortune 50 executives. When someone says they're going to do something and they don't do it, it erodes trust in a relationship. If I've eroded trust in a relationship, I'm not going to want to build a relationship with you. If I don't build a relationship with you, there's no room for opportunity development.
Wow. So if I'm hearing you correctly, even though probably the opportunity development type of conversation is the most immediately rewarding, you're saying that the transactional conversation can be the foundation to even get you to that step 3. Am I hearing you right there?
And the more effectively I manage the transactional conversations, the better off I am all around. And that's why I'm always looking with the clients that I work with, because, look, my main product, when I work with a client, they fly me out to their town. I basically live with them for 2 days. Okay, I don't live with them. As much of those 2 days as they want to give me, I get. And over the 48 hours, as much of that time as they give me, I'm studying them. I'm studying them. I often know more about their habits, routines, and productivity than their mom does. Because all I'm looking for is how are they handling those 3 kinds of conversations? How are they handling them with their customers? How are they handling them with their staff or their contractors or their vendors? And, of course, how are they handling them with customers?
Rescuing productivity, making sure that you have the right types of conversations, doing them the right way, building trust, and then obviously when the opportunity comes, you can have those opportunistic conversations, and really that you're saying that'll keep you in line with making sure you don't just do busy work.
And again, the name of this conversation is rescuing productivity. What you and I are really talking about is making productivity the goal. Once I have to rescue it, it means I'm out of it. So what I want anybody listening to this to do is just, click the reset button. Remember when we were playing ball in the street and there would be a car that would come down, and everyone yelled, car, and the game would pause, and then we would reset. That's what we're doing right now. We're resetting, and we're saying, look, right now, whenever you're listening to this, right now, what is the next thing that I can do to be productive? Can I give you one thing that everyone could do right now?
Sure.
Call right now. As soon as you're done listening to this, I want you to call a customer that you have impressed or that loves you from the past 1 to 2 months. I want you to call that customer, and if they will give you the time of day, I want you to ask them this question. How have I helped you recently? Listen to them, because they're going to give you gold that then you can turn around and you can build into a marketing piece. You can build into a testimonial for your website. You can build into the next phone call you make where you're looking to talk to another future customer. I mean, wouldn't it be great if I could call someone and say, hey, I just talked to a customer from 2 months ago, and you know what she told me? She said that now her garden is brighter and her flowers are more pink and her air is cleaner because of the product that I sold her, or whatever it is. And bringing them back through that cycle. transaction builds trust. Trust leads to a relationship that's built on a solid foundation, and the more solid that foundation is, people will give me new opportunity.
Jason Womack, I appreciate your time. Thank you for coming on to the show. Jason Womack Company.
GetMomentum.co. GetMomentum.co.
Check him out. He's got lots of great stuff. Maybe you can find something that he's doing in his schedule and plug in. Jason, have a great day.